Hey Dean, how's it going, man? I'm Brandon. Guy that's been talking to you on the phone. Um, I'm in my garage here. Normally I'd do this inside, but I've got my in-laws are in town, so our house is kind of packed, and just decided I'd come out here and make this video for you real quick. But just to let you know a little bit about who I am, so you can put a personality to the face, I guess. I don't know. I'm actually from Grand Junction, Colorado, and I was a soccer player, so that's how I ended up in Arizona. About 3 years ago, I signed with a team down here called Arizona United, but the contracts go about 6 months, and so in the off season, you got to figure out something else to do. And I was one of the older guys on the team. I'm married, got a little girl, and I couldn't just do the crappy soccer coaching that they set you up with because it wasn't enough money for me. So I for a while I did washer and dryer repair, and I became really good at writing Craigslist ads to sell those and to sell appliances when I had them for sale. And I just kind of like slowly transitioned into Google because I realized that's where most people go, and I've sort of learned this skill set and gone through a lot of different training courses and stuff that have really, I don't know, I've kind of fine-tuned this system that I have that works super well. Um, and so, yeah, man, it's I'm confident that I can really get you some business, which sounds like you need it since you moved from Flagstaff. So I'm gonna kind of get straight into it here and explain what I do, how I do it, why it works, all that stuff. And some of it might be redundant since we talked on the phone a little bit, but I'm just going to kind of go through it anyway because maybe it'll help. So if I go to Google, type elephants. I want to show you this real quick. First page that always comes up is Wikipedia's page on elephants. Now, why does this page come up first? It's because Wikipedia is a super trustworthy source, and also they've got like 50,000 words here all about elephants. Everything you could ever want to know about them right here on this page. So Google sees them as the most authoritative, relevant source of information to put in front of my eyeballs when I'm asking them to give me information about elephants, right? So the same thing goes for a local product or service. So for example, say I want to find a window tinter in Mesa, Arizona down here. I might put window tinting Mesa AZ, right? And you get this local map pack with business A, B, and C, and then you have what's called the organic listings, okay? So statistically, 90% of people go to Google when they need something local, a local product or service. And 96% of people never leave the first page. And I think you can probably attest to that yourself. If you search for something that you need, a plumber or a tow truck driver or whatever, you're never going to go to page 5, 6 to find that person. So it's just super important that you're at the top of Google because everybody, they're going here and they're going, let's check these guys out. And okay, I'll check these. Boom, I'll check this website. 80% of all the business they say goes to like the top 2 spots. So just in today's day and age, so important to be there. And I think you already kind of have a taste of that with just how many calls you get from towing stuff in Flagstaff just because you're up there and you don't even do it anymore. So, or you never did do towing, but you get those calls all the time. So anyway, let me get out of here. I'll just go back to Google here real quick. But I've already got this page pulled up, diesel repair in St. George, right? So actually real quick before I get into that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what goes into ranking a site, okay? So Google likes to see websites for local businesses that have like 1,500 plus words on the homepage. They want you to have a lot of content on there because they want to see that you have a lot to talk about, and you want to kind of work in all those keywords, but not too much, not too little. You want it to be in the right sort of parameters, and that all falls into what I do, okay? But then there's another thing called citations. So citation is getting your name, address, and phone number listed in a different directory online, right? So if we build you out a site that's like stgeorgedieselrepair.com, and that's whatever your company is, that's what we name it. We get you in this Google map pack, and then we do the citations so that we just want to do more of those than what the competitors have, and I can kind of spy on them, see how many they have. But citations just affect this local map pack ranking, okay? But when it comes to the organic rankings, what's really important are called backlinks. So I can see here with my tools, like Southwest Diesel Service, these guys are everywhere. If I search, I've done all kinds of different searches like diesel repair, St. George, roadside diesel mechanic, St. George. These guys show up all the time, right? And they've got 22 backlinks from what I can see. Okay, now I can kind of dig in here and see where are those backlinks coming from, how powerful are they, all that kind of stuff, all right? But basically what a backlink is it's a link from a different website to your site. So it's someone else on the web giving you a vote, basically. And Google likes that a lot because it shows that, hey, if these guys, if other people are talking about them and those other people are trustworthy and powerful sites, then that's a good indication that these guys probably know what they're talking about and we should rank them on top. Okay, so the system that I have is this. Build out your site, do all the on-page SEO so that it's optimized as good as it can be. Then I have a press release done. So I write up a nice article, blast that out to 300 different news sites all over the country. So there's just a little article that's boom written about your company, and it's all over the place. From that point, I do what's called Web 2.0 links. So a Web 2.0 site is a free website that anybody can create, but they're more like socially oriented sites, okay? So it would look natural to Google if a press release was done and then all types of people everywhere are then talking about your business because they just read that article about you. So what that does is it builds trust in Google's eyes for your business, for your site. And those Web 2.0s aren't like super powerful. They have a little bit of power each one, but what we're doing is just building the trust, right? At the right pace, making it look natural, not too crazy, too fast, because otherwise we'll get penalized, but just at the right pace. And then what I do is I drop links from these other sites, which are called PBNs. So a PBN, it's a private blog network. I don't know why they call it that, but they do. But an example is this. Say somebody started, I might have told you this on the phone, but somebody started a blog about cooking back in like 2001. And they built this blog and they worked on it, added content. They built kind of a following over 10 years, you know, till 2011, for example. And then they got tired of it and they said, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to let it go. And that domain expires, okay? So every day domains expire and they go up for auction and you can buy them. Some of them are super powerful and have a really high trust flow with Google. Well, what I do is I go buy those. I change out the content, change it from something about cooking to something about, you know, mechanic work or cars or something that's kind of related to what you're doing. And in there, I put a link to your site. So it's like somebody's writing this big website about mechanic stuff, and then they'd say, hey, my diesel repair guy in St. George is great, you know, check him out over here. Boom. And that link, because we've already built all that trust with those Web 2.0s and other stuff, it just climbs you, boosts you up the ranks. I do one a week or sometimes two. I don't want to go too fast. And it just boom, 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 climbs you up the ranks little by little until you're at the top. None of these competitors are doing that. I've checked into these guys. They don't know what they're doing. They're just kind of, I don't know, they've done a little bit. Maybe some of that is just natural. It's happened, but kind of lucky to be where they're at, right? So here's a tool I have where I can kind of check in and look and see the traffic and stuff that and backlinks that they have. So here we got Southwest Diesel Service, those guys that are number one, right? I can see they've got 34 domains. So this says 277 external backlinks, but it's really 34 because it's 34 domains that are referring to these guys. Sometimes a backlink gets counted twice, but it's only got the power of one. So I can kind of spy on them, see how powerful they are, and get a good idea of what it would take to outrank them, right? Here's a different tool where I can see their traffic. And what I saw, kind of the hard part for this one was I saw, okay, only 24 people are visiting their site a month. And that's not true. These tools aren't always accurate. But there's more people that need diesel repair in and around St. George that are finding these guys every month. Definitely. So what I did was I actually called these guys up. And I was able to talk to a receptionist lady. And I just got an idea from her. I said, hey, I noticed you guys are at the top of Google when I search for anything diesel repair related around St. George. How many calls would you say you get per day for like roadside uh, repair? People that need you to come to them, fix their car or fix their truck, and that's it. And she told me they probably get about 5 in a 24-hour period. Some come in the middle of the night, obviously. I'm sure you already know that with your business, but 5 a day is about what they're getting. So I think reasonably that's what we could expect when we get to the top. Okay, so when I outrank them here and outrank them here. And it takes a little bit of time. You got to do it at the right pace and stuff like that. But I definitely know I can get it done for you because I've done it for several other people. So I'll just show you a quick example. If I search Scottsdale tow truck, right? I need a tow truck in Scottsdale. This is me, #1 in the map, #1 here. This got like 131 calls in December, 155 in January, and it's on track for probably like 175 this month, right? Obviously just completely blown that guy's business out of the water, helped him big time, you know? So here's the other thing, right? When it comes down to price, this is what I like to do. I like to be as transparent as possible, straight up front, so that you and I both, so we don't have any things hidden in the closet or whatever. Here's what I like to do, okay? Price-wise, I've worked it out on what it costs me. Okay, so I figure I can get this site to page 1 within about 90 days, and then it's just about climbing up and getting to the top, right? And it could happen much quicker than that. Sometimes it does, but that's kind of what I always say, just so that I keep myself safe, so you don't have these expectations that I don't meet. I like to kind of under-promise and over-deliver. So I've worked it out, the math-wise. Sometimes it takes me about 5 of those PBN links, and those cost me about $100 each when I buy those domains. Sometimes they're more, sometimes less, but on average. Sometimes it'll take me like 10 PBN links till we get you to the top, right? But each one's costing me $100. So my total cost out of pocket, it's going to cost me $1,005 to $1,505 over the course of 3 months to get you ranked, depending on how many of those it takes us to get to the top. So what I like to say is, give me $500 per month, okay? I might have to ask you for an extra $250 because of the site build at the beginning. So it'd be like $750 the first month, $500 month 2, $500 month 3, okay? And I really don't make any of that. I'm actually paying $5 out of my pocket, and I'm putting all my time and effort into this. But the reason why is because I want to develop a partnership with you where it's long term, right? I own the PBNs. I'm buying those. I own those websites with the super powerful links that are holding you up in the rankings. So that's my kind of security that, hey, I can't, it's not like I'm just going to rank you and then you can decide, well, I'm not going to pay Brandon anymore because I'm already at the top. Well, if you do that, which I know you wouldn't, you sound like a great guy, I already know from talking to you over the phone, but if you were to do that, then I would just say, okay, I'm going to use these sites that I'm paying to maintain that are very powerful and help my rankings. I'm going to take the links and give them to somebody else because I can only do so many links. It's like 1 or 2 for each one of those, because the more links you do, the more juice, the more it kind of dilutes down each one. So really, I'm in this for a long-term investment where, hey, give me X amount of dollars. This is literally what it takes for me to get you ranked. I will make nothing, but as time goes on, hey, month 4 here, now you're starting to get calls, you're making money. I can ask you for, a little more in return. If I'm getting you 5 calls a day, 350 is your average job, like you said, you're making $1,500. If you land all 5 of those in a day, you can make a pretty healthy income in a month. And so it's no problem for me to say, hey, you're making 10K, 15K a month. Kick me back 1,000, 1,500, $2,000 if it gets crazy like that. And let's just be fair with each other. You pay me what I'm worth and I'll make this happen for you. You know what I mean? So hopefully that makes sense. I'll send you this video. give me a call back and we can talk some more. Thanks, Dean. Bye.